People will catch on. Well, good day and welcome to Coffee Chat. Got a little bit surprised there by myself. So here I am, here we are. My name's Jim Cockburn, your host, and I'm pleased to be back with you. And I'm also pleased to have as our guest Amanda Naughton-Gale, who looks after the Salvation Army store here in our town that takes care of many of your needs, especially in time of strife. Let me start out by saying that I was mildly surprised 5, 6, 8 months ago, I don't know, when I was going by your store, and I saw a bit of a project going on out there in the south side with what looked to me like miniature sandboxes. So explain, if you would, how all that kind of came about.
For sure. So we're a little bit more than just a thrift store, the Salvation Army. We also do family services. And so it was kind of a thought process when we first moved into this new building that south side really needs a bit of dressing up. And we thought that really a community garden of some sort, or a container garden, might lend itself well in that spot and be available for anybody that's passing by to maybe tend to it or to even harvest from it. And also that anything that we produced and harvested would go into our food bank and help supplement our food bank clients. So that was kind of the idea. We got a wonderful grant from Prairie Mountain Health, our health region, their Healthy Together Now grant, and that's what made it happen. Our local men's shed built it for us, and it was just a great project that just came together and was so wonderful actually to see. We had so many compliments, and we know that people were using it. So it was just a great project to see finally come to fruition.
So when you said it was great to see people using it,
yeah,
does that mean people had to come in and request that they have or how did that work out?
No, we planted it, and
oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
so we
so your staff maintained it and all that then
yeah,
too?
pretty much, and our volunteers maintained it, and then people in the community, as they were walking by or whatever, happened to, oh, there's a ripe tomato, or, oh, look at all the herbs that are here, we're going to snip some off, and away we go. And I encouraged my clients as well through the food bank to, if there's anything there, just help yourself. That's what it is for. So it was for the community, and the community did use it.
So let me suggest that it's going to happen again next year?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. And we've learned a few things.
Always do, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to adjust some of our soils and things like that, and maybe a few of our plants that we had, maybe we might need to tweak what we've planted. But in all, I feel it was a successful start to that type of a project for us.
So has any individual suggested, because of the success, there's room for expansion?
Oh, well, hopefully. It'd be interesting to see what else we can do with it, and if we can get even more containers, or and see kind of where our next steps are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you too, because it's been a while since you and I have had a chance to sit down and talk, and I've sort of been out of the picture for a while, but for medical reasons. But let me ask, how have you enjoyed the space that you have afforded yourselves down there at the old co-op building?
The new space is amazing. It really has allowed us to expand the store, generate more funds, and then all of those funds that we generate out of the thrift store go straight back into the community. So that helps fund projects like, a container box garden. It helps fund things like getting a cooler so we can have fresh produce to offer our food bank clients. It's expanding services and things like that, and looking at what else we can help out with the community. So we wouldn't have been able to do that without expanding our location and being in that space that we are.
Okay. When we talked past, one of your remarks was, correct me if I'm wrong here, you said or suggested that maybe we help people who are in financial dire straits. Mm-hmm. Is that with the product you have on hand, or is that with actual finances?
That's with product on hand.
Okay.
So we assist clients with food, mainly non-perishables, but we do have freezers. We've got a great partnership with Safeway right now where we're reclaiming their day-old bread. We're looking to expand that project with other grocers in our community. So if anybody is interested, they can definitely contact me, where we pick up all sorts of product that they can't sell, but we can use and give it another life. And reclaiming food is a whole other, that could be a whole other half-hour situation, but we can reclaim anything from bread, dairy, meat, eggs, all of that kind of stuff, because there is a shelf life beyond the best before date.
Certainly.
Yeah, and so it's a matter of education and things like that. And it's if we know that things like that are coming in, we can reach out to our clients and say, hey, come in, I've got this for you. This will help your family out.
So then you do keep a directory of people who are essentially are not one-time visitors, but multiple.
Yeah, so all of our clients do an intake with us, and we keep their information on, it's called Link to Feed. That's our food bank system. Link to Feed is actually used in most food banks across Canada through the Food Banks Canada network. And it allows us to track what we're giving out to the community. So we can be more, we can understand who our clients are better, the types of things that maybe we should be able to help them out with. Like maybe there's a need for education upgrades. Maybe there's a need for financial literacy programs. Maybe there's a need for addictions referrals, all of those types, or mental health referrals, and all those sorts of things. And that's part of what I do with my clients. We have a sit down, we talk about what's going on in their lives. And it's not just food that we can provide, we also provide things in our thrift store. So if they're in need of winter coats or seasonal coats or household items, all of those sorts of things, we can assist them with gathering those items as well.
Could I suggest that things have changed a little bit with COVID, the pandemic era? You've have it had to increase a bit?
A little bit, yeah. Our COVID has really kind of been interesting.
Yeah.
In March, when we shut down, it was just myself at the store. And so we really I had to look at how we do things in our food bank. Originally, we did a shopping model for our food bank, which allowed our clients to come in and choose the items that they really need. So now we've kind of gone to more of a pick and order kind of idea, where I kind of say, what do you need? Do you need this or that or this? And I kind of create a shopping list, I pack it up, and then they come at their scheduled time and take the food in a more contactless way. And that's we've continued that on since March, just to decrease the amount of people that are in the store, decrease the amount of contacts that people have to have.
Is the elevator still working in your store?
We are past the elevator point, but yes, the elevator does go upstairs to settlement services.
I was always curious about that.
Yeah, it's in behind us. Yeah,
the changeover.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's talk about the food bank. Has COVID had a change in that aspect of it too?
For sure. In March and April, we really saw a huge increase of people in need. There was a lot of, people were getting kind of laid off. They weren't sure if they were getting checks, all of those sorts of things. Once the CERB kind of came out, we saw kind of a stabilization of need. However, now that those programs are kind of changing a bit, we're starting to see an increase again. And in fact, we're expecting for Christmas a 30 to 40% increase in need this year.
All right. So the contribution then has to extend not only a little further, but the expectations of a little higher.
Yeah, absolutely. We, I'm already seeing kind of more people phoning in for food bank, which is kind of usually an indicator of how Christmas is going to go. Now that we're in code orange and there are COVID cases within our community, I know that there's a lot of stress and angst about, how does this work in our family? How can we assist? And I just kind of want to make people know that we're there to assist as well. If you feel that financially things are really tight, and that a hamper of food would help you not have to go to work when your kids are sick, or not have to go to work when you're sick, or kind of stretch out that money for the rest of the month, that's what we're here for. And that's what we want to help out with. And it's not just at Christmas time, but we can help out with that all year round.
So it's important then that the individual design their needs on a daily basis versus a weekly basis. That's important for you, isn't it?
Yeah, a little
that?
bit. Yeah, it's really tough, with the
Yeah.
stresses that are going on. People really kind of need to figure out what's going on in their family. We usually see people when things are tough, right?
Yes.
Or that they're at their wits' end. And we were there before that too. And we just want to remind people that, you can give us a call at any point in time. And just, we understand. Like, I understand things are tough, and I understand that there's sometimes debt loads are too high, and sometimes we get ourselves into situations, and that's okay. And we're there to help you get through to the next side of that. And Christmas time always increases it. And, like the anxiety levels and our stress levels around that time of year just increases about tenfold. And so we usually only see some of our clients just for Christmas. And that just helps them out in that time of year, just to get over and to feel like they've given their family a Christmas time to celebrate, right?
And I was going to say that because of COVID now, you're starting to see those people that were at Christmas are coming in earlier now because of, as you expressed earlier.
Yeah, a little bit. We are seeing some of our clients come in earlier.
So let's for a minute then, let's talk about, we know that, and you said it, the anxiety that's coming with Christmas, and for those that financially aren't structured where they can spend a lot. When are we going to start looking at? Are we going to start earlier with Christmas, talking about the hampers and things like that? And
yeah, for sure. Yeah, so people can start applying for their Christmas hamper in November 9th, so next week.
Okay.
We're starting to take applications. And because now of COVID, we're looking at doing that a couple of different ways. If people have accessed our services before, so if they've gotten a Christmas hamper last year, or if you're a regular food bank client, just give me a call. We'll do the application over the phone, or you can message me on our Facebook page, and we can do it that way. I know your situation, right? And so we can just get you through that process quicker. If you are a family who's never used our services before, you can just give me a call. We'll arrange a time to meet, and then we can do the application in person. That just gives us a little bit of stretch time, so we don't have 20 people outside of my door handing in applications, but we can be all safe doing this on a more scheduled and appointment-based system.
So it'd be safe to say we don't want families to be shy in this particular situation. We want them to come forward because in the future development, food-wise, for their own children, this is very important.
Yeah, absolutely. With blended learning and some of the kids are staying home more and things like that, I get it. The grocery strain is going to be increased. And when you look further down into Christmas time, what does that look like? And where are we going to be at Christmas? And if people are feeling anxious about that and feeling like, I don't know how we're going to make ends meet this Christmas, then they really should give me a call, and we're there to help. And the hampers might look a little bit different this year, but we feel that it will still meet the need of our families.
Okay. Let's talk about the big major item at Christmas, which is the turkey, and some people prefer ham.
Yep.
Some people even enjoy chicken now instead of a turkey. Have you got outlets that will be assisting you in that regard?
For sure. So last year, actually, we were in a location where we didn't really have a spot to order a whole bunch of turkeys and make sure that they kept frozen, and order a bunch of milk and eggs, and make sure that the cold chain was intact, right? Because we want to make sure that our food that we give to people is safe. So we decided last year that for all of our fresh items that we would normally order anyways, we gave a gift certificate to our families so that they could then purchase what they required for their Christmas needs. And we got a really, really good feedback last year from our families saying, you know what, we don't use turkey. And a lot of times that turkey stays in that freezer for like almost a year, and then you give me another one. And, so we kind of thought, you know what, we really do have to rethink how Christmas is done. And not everybody has that traditional Christmas, Canadian Christmas turkey dinner. Some it's a roast beef, and some it's fish, and
Yeah.
some is, you know what, just going to take hors d'oeuvres over to my in-laws,
Yeah.
those
Yeah.
sorts of things. So we decided this year, and especially with COVID, pardon me, that we didn't know how we were going to pack hampers safely, and we didn't know how we were going to, if we were going to have enough food. That was the other part too, because some of our food drives weren't happening. And so we just made the decision that we were going to give a set amount of a gift card for each of our families, depending on their size, and then that would be for their entire meal. And so we bumped up what we gave last year to kind of include all of those non-perishable items that we would have included with the hamper as well. However, we're still looking at doing toys this year.
Okay.
So we're hoping that people will kind of support us by either monetary donations or a donation of a new unwrapped toy, or gift paper, or, gift wrap, or those sorts of ideas, or even small gifts, because we're still hoping that we can give our families a bit of a personal shopping experience where they can pick out, some of those knitted mitts, or toques, or some socks, or a deck of cards, or a game, or things like that for their family as well. And so we're looking at doing that.
Okay, so when you describe this to me then, do you have all of this set aside in a certain area of your store so you know that those people, that's the area to go to and that's what's available for you then?
Yeah, so our hampers this year, we're going to actually do it out of the thrift store. So we'll be closing the thrift store for the week of our hampers. And so that'll be December, I want to say the December 16th, 17th week. Hampers will be given out the 16th and 17th. So that's the Wednesday, Thursday. And we're just going to push the racks back and set it up as a shopping experience for our families, because we want them to still feel like this is something special, and that they're seen and that they're loved, and that we want to share the joy of the Christmas spirit with them as well.
So do you have a lot of volunteers that will assist you in this regard at that particular time of the year?
Yeah, absolutely. We usually do have tons of volunteers that are helping us out. This year, we're going to have to really scale back and only have a set amount of people within our location. However, if people really want to help us out, we are going to need people to man our kettles this year and to help us out on that side, because with a 40% increase that we're expecting our expenses for this time of year also to increase by about $10,000. And our kettle campaign is really usually the one fundraiser that we set aside specifically for Christmas. And typically that only raises us about $6,000. So to make up an extra 10 is going to be really difficult for us to do. We have received some grants, and we've had lots of great response from our community. But we are a charity, so if people want to give monetarily, we can also write them a tax receipt for any donation over $20 as well.
Okay, that's handy. So the Kettle Program and the community program dealing with your food bank at Christmas time, they actually are hand in hand, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So when, again, refresh my memory, you're going to be setting up the Kettle Program, and where?
So our kettles will be around our community at different locations throughout. Basically, we start about November, I want to say the third weekend of November typically, and we run it till the week of December 19th. And we are asking local businesses and grocers to host our kettles. We'd love to have them inside as much as possible, because that's easier for a lot of our volunteers, but we also understand this crazy time of COVID and the idea of maybe not having as many people in a location could be a bit of a deterrent.
Yeah.
We're open to options. So whether that's an unmanned kettle where staff is kind of keeping an eye out on it, that's a possibility, or hosting a coin box. This year we're going to have a tap and pay machine that will stand on the kettles, but also can be on the counters as well. And so people just need to have their debit card, credit card, smartwatch, phone, whatever, and they can just tap a $5 donation, a $20 donation, or whatever is set up onto the machine.
Yeah, and your point's well made too about traffic flow inside a store. You'll probably find that there's more traffic outside on the sidewalks this time around,
Possibly, yeah, as we're restricting more and more people coming into the stores, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, let's hope that people have shallow pockets instead of deep pockets because they could reach not so far to contribute to the program.
Yeah.
Do you set and I appreciate that the Kettle program is, as you say, it only raises so much, but do you have expectations in that area also as to what you're looking for?
Absolutely. We, in a regular year, we expect that our target's around that $6,000 range, because that's typically how much we have in expenses for our Christmas program. And so this year, because we did our budget way before COVID, that's about what we had anticipated. Yeah. If we can reach anything over that $6,000 range, that definitely helps out our financial situation. So anything over that will definitely make me sleep better at night.
I guess I have to ask the obvious. The Salvation Army is the namesake here. Mm-hmm. Their headquarters for your benefit, where, out of Brandon?
No, so we're a single ministry unit, so yes. We're governed by a board of directors, so we have a community council that kind of guides me in what we're doing locally, but then we're overseen by our divisional headquarters, which is out of Winnipeg.
Oh, okay, all right. So when you get together with the board, is that the stage, or is that the point where you try to put your thoughts and your ideas together as to how you're going to look at your fundraising or what you're going to have to do for that purpose? Like, who's thinking out of the box here? Who's going outside the box?
Absolutely. So yeah, that's definitely kind of like, hey, what are we doing? Like, what do we see happening in the community? How can we think innovatively? What are different ideas to raise funds? And to have these programs meet the needs that they need to meet. Mm-hmm. And are we doing the right thing? So we have got some wonderful people that are sitting on our board, and there are room for more. So if anybody is really passionate about impacting people within their community and want to see great things happen, then please contact us, and we'd love to have you sit on our community council as well.
One of the things that I'm hearing from you, Amanda, is that, and to me, it's the key, is that everything you raise financially stays in the community.
Absolutely.
And that to me is a big, big difference as compared to other charities.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Everything we raise definitely stays within Neepawa. All of the checks that we get in stays in Neepawa. Everything that we raise, any profit that we raise out of the thrift store stays in Neepawa. And it all goes towards helping out families. So it all goes towards food bank. It all goes to emergency aid. It all goes to even during our flood, right? I went out and bought snacks and water and delivered to our volunteers around town and helped that out. And that's what we're here to do. That's how the Salvation Army is set up to be flexible enough to meet the needs within our own communities.
Okay. You, in that regard, are you a member of the particular religious denomination?
No, I'm not a Salvationist.
Okay.
However, I am an employee that has strong
and I respect
Christian.
That.
Yeah, so I have strong Christian beliefs
Sure.
as well, and I believe in the mission of giving. To aiding people without discrimination. And that really sits a lot with me, that we're here to help you out regardless of what your situation is, who you are, what you look like, who you live with. None of that matters. What matters to us is ensuring that you are met with dignity and that we are giving you hope at the end of the day.
And that's why I sort of came up with the question, and no disrespect.
No.
Because what it tells me is your organization doesn't look at color, race, creed, that sort of thing.
No.
It's if you are who you are.
Absolutely.
And if you need help, we're there for you.
Absolutely.
So that's good to hear. What else is coming up? What's the future hold in store for our particular thrift shop?
It's been really interesting during COVID. We're looking at how do we run? Are we doing things effectively? And our thrift store doesn't run without the generous donations that come in from our community. And we're doing really, really well in our thrift store. There are days where we thought that maybe we should have added another 3,000 square feet so we could add some extra space because, we're a little stuffed some days. But I think the thrift store side of it is probably where it's going to be. I think our next look into the future will be how can we increase the family services and the services to individuals within our community. And whether that looks like expanding our food bank, creating a family resource center, or partnering with people to do those types of things. We've had lots of discussion with lots of other service providers, and I think that might be the next goals in the next 5 to 10 years, is to see how best we can serve our communities and really support families and really support individuals out there and get them the resources that that they need, that sometimes are really, really difficult to access in a small community. And how can we bring that here, and how can we do that for our families?
Good, great. Well, I think on that note, which is a strength, we'll say thank you very much for coming by and allowing us to sort of get involved with you as to what's been happening down there at our thrift shop.
Great, thanks so much, Jim.
Okay, and by the way, if I don't get a chance, have a good Christmas.
You too.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to say thank you to Amanda Naughton-Gale, who is our director of our Salvation Army thrift store here in the town of Neepawa and area. If you were listening to this interview, you would have got the strength of the interview from what Amanda had to say with regards to donations and how serious and how important it is, especially during the pandemic that we find ourselves, because she did say the expectations are a 40% increase. That's a lot financially and with respect to your donation when it comes to food and or finances. So please, give generously, we're asking. Until the next time we meet, my name's Jim Cockburn. If you can't put a smile on your face, please put a song in your heart. Have a great day.